Hi, it's Getting Persoell.
No.
My name is Nell, also known as Nell.
I can't wait myself. Hey everybody, it's Melanie, also known as Nell, and this is Getting Persoell with Christ. We have a new person with us for this week's podcast. Instead of our favorite Auntie Eva, Marissa Wong, we have our co-writer for some of the songs for Adore, and we're going to talk about Act 2 and the characters and just what she thinks about Act 2 and just dive right in.
Yeah.
All right, so Nicole, on the play, in the play, you were a part of some of the songwriting for Adore. What is the one song, let's just go with that. What is the one song that you personally love? It could be from Act 1 or Act 2 because you have in both.
Okay, yeah. The first gut reaction, I would say, is the Sacrament song. I think it was just so organic, the way that it came about. For those of you who don't know, we had writing sessions for this. Like, some of the songs were our own personal songs, but Sacrament song was one of the pivotal moments, I think, where we were like, we have a play. Like, you know what I mean? When it came to the music. Melanie's story and transformation in her heart comes from when she received the sacraments. I really, truly believe that. Like, there's a lot before that, after that, but there's a big moment there, and we needed a banger for the play. And so that day, many of the other songs took a long time to develop, but that song was like instantaneous. I came and sat down, and I think you might have talked about this with Marissa in the past episode, but I was like, okay, what do you want to talk about? What did you feel? Set the scene. So she talked a lot about the lights, what she heard, what she saw, what she felt. And in that, I was like, give me 5 minutes. And I had thrown things together and I shared it to her and Aaron. I think I had like the first verse and the chorus kind of complete. I even have the first initial recording.
Yeah.
I do.
That would be so cool to hear again.
Yeah, I can send that your way. Just, I feel like some of the lyrics might have changed. Maybe like a melody or two might be a little different, but essentially that was the basis of the song. And I sent it over to Nell. She completed the rest of the song. Dynamics later, like the key change, which that was a huge thing where I was like, I think this needs a key change.
Yes. And it was great.
Yeah. I think I can even think about casting when we first met little Alina. Leia. Yeah. She had the quality in voice and like even personality to showcase this song. Yes. And that's when I was like, I think that's our girl right there.
Yeah, so. It was like eye opener to see her just act in front of us in whatever way she could. And
I know I'm getting
chicken skin. Yeah.
I remember those moments so vividly where I was like, creating the song together. I think that was like, I think I only had an hour that day. Like, I remember coming in, I'm like, okay, what are we gonna do? And then I got my ukulele. And I was like, okay, let's do it. And then Aaron, I think particularly, never saw us like in that capacity. And he was like, wow, that was crazy. And I think that's, long story short, that's my favorite.
Yeah, definitely one of my favorites too.
Yeah.
Besides the ones that we've written on our own, right?
Yes.
And the big hit at the end of your In You Alone.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. In You Alone was written starting like one of my very first songs, I think.
Oh yeah. Nice.
I was in my car driving home. I think I went to drop my dad off to work in the morning. And then the night before was oh my gosh, what is her name? There was a Christian worship.
What is it? Amanda Vernon.
She came in and did a talk for our church, and she writes her own music. And I was like, I want to do that. Like, I want to write Christian music because I always wrote like cute things. Like, I tried to be like a YouTube like singer songwriter, but like I was like, you know what? I want to sing a song for the Lord. And so whatever I was feeling in that moment, I genuinely don't even remember anymore, but it just felt like genuine, and I had the melody come through, and I never thought that it would ever see the light of day, honestly. Like,
and and so it's one of the cast, like some of the cast of kids, that's one of their favorite songs.
That's so humbling, honestly. Like, it's exciting. Like, my mom actually at the end of the play, she's like, I think my favorite song was the last song.
Aww.
And I was like, that's my song. Yeah, I didn't know that. And she didn't know either.
Yeah.
So that was really cool to see. And I love the spins that you guys put on it. So at the very end of the play, spoiler alert, Melanie comes out with the two other girls. So it's like chicken skin moment, you know, where you see yourself being portrayed and then your actual self go up there. And Melanie did this awesome thing to the song that I have a hard time singing. The echo.
That was one thing that, remember you sent me the song. I was like, oh, let's write another song together. And you sent me that song, and I was like, I wanna add some stuff to it. And it came out together. And I think I still have the recording of me singing over it.
I think I have it. I listened to it like a couple months ago, being like looking for the original.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh yeah, I forgot Melanie added that part. And it's beautiful. Honestly, that's why it works so well with like groups. And to hear other people singing your song, I think that's what that part was like really overwhelming for me. I think there was a moment I did lights and stuff for the play. So I'm in the back and I'm just watching everyone singing and knowing the lyrics. I'm just like, how is this even possible? You know? But
it's so cool.
Yeah. I think to go back on that too, that time when I wrote it, I think it was a sense of consolation for me. Like, you know, I'm sure this is for you too. The songs we write are also prayers from our heart. And so that line of like, where do I go? Who do I run to? Like, I think those are moments for me to always remember, like, when I'm in hard places, who do I go? Like, to who do I run to? Like, who should it be? Like, do I run to addiction? Do I run to like sloth? Do I run to all these things? Like, there's a person who I can run to. That's always there. So the Lord. And
oh my gosh, thank you so much for inputting that song into the play, because it was one of my favorite times, especially because I got to be on stage. It was crazy.
Honestly, it's very like, looking at it, I'm like, I'm very humbled by it, because, you know, for me, I have a lot of songs and I'm just like, I keep it for myself, but it's meant to be shared. And so now that people get to hear it, it's like, wow, there's a gift of mine that's being shared, and there's more purpose for it than just like my own song. So thank you for taking it and spinning it and sharing it.
That was fun. But let's go into Act 2. Okay, so Act 2 is a part where the little kids are now in middle school. And we have Alina, who is a little older, and she's found her grounding in who she is and whatever, wanting to be class president. And, you know, what do you think, how the characters grown into who they are as, you know, as they got into the second act? What do you think? How have they changed, or what differences do you see from Act 1 to Act 2?
More personality growth, I guess you can say. I can see, like, it makes sense for Alina, you know, to want to be the best she can possibly be, go and achieve to be president. I love the sister dynamic that you kind of see more of in the friendship dynamics that happen. And it's your typical coming of age. You're losing friends, you're trying to find your way, and like resolving past, I don't know, like trying to navigate coming older. I think that's a really good story, honestly, for the school children to have seen, right? Or like younger people, or for me even looking back and thinking, this is something I also went through in a similar capacity, right? Is that kind of like what, or like in terms of characters?
In characters too. Like, did you see any differences, like the growth in them? Like, because we have different actors, of course. And some of them don't even look like each other. Like, different color skin, different color hair. So it's just, we had Alina, who was played by Leia in the beginning, and then Ziggy in the...
Ziggy did great too.
Ziggy did great. And then we have her friends, Ria, who was Makanale, who turned into Michaela. They're probably around the same height.
Yes. I remember that now.
And then we have Angie, who was Victoria, and who came Myra. And then we have Victoria, who was the sister, was Natalie into Abigail. And so you see some of the things that goes on there. I think they found more of who they are in the second act. Yeah.
Yes. And especially towards the end, you know, like sometimes you might lose your way and stuff like that. But at the end, they all come together. You see in like that kind of, the music portion where they're going through things, they end up doing service together. They end up reconciling with each other. Like you're still able to go back to where you came from. I really like that idea of like, these are the people who will be there for me in thick and thin. And yeah, like I think one of my favorite things is they came and supported you. Like, is that kind of what it was in real life, or like a mixture?
Okay, so there really was a retreat that happened that, you know, I told them all about what I was going through. And, you know, some of the characters that I mentioned in there, you know, were actually friends of mine that I based them on.
Nice.
And they were the ones that were at this retreat.
Love it.
And, you know, they cried, and
it was impactful
for them. And like, they cried because they're like, how come you didn't tell us about it and whatever. So it was nice to have them there. And then so like having to put that in the play, I really wanted that there, because to know that, you know, I have friends who, you know, supported me. And although we're not friends like how we were back then, like I know we see each other on social media, you know.
Yeah.
And it's nice to know that I can still, you know,
you still have love for them, right?
I still love for them, because they were there for me back then.
Exactly.
And, you know, we just grew apart, but like there's still a connection there because we went through such a touching moment. So
yeah, I think a lot about your sister Victoria, right, in the play. There's also a change in tone with her in certain aspects too. You know, there's a lot of lightheartedness with her, like sass and stuff, but there's also a deep love, like sister love there, which I loved. And you know, the moments where Alina was having a really dark, hard time, you can tell like she's trying to look out for you as a sister, like real concern. And I love the ending portion too, where at the retreat, she's like, how come you didn't tell me, you know, like being there for you and stuff like that. So that's really nice.
And my sister really did cry at the retreat. Like, oh my gosh. Yeah.
Aww.
But it was amazing. Like, and Abigail did such a great job. And my sister still thinks, why am I that sassy? I was like, no, but you know, like, that's just how I, you know, viewed it. It doesn't mean that that's how you think you did, but you know, my sister's such a loving sister, you know, she was there through thick and thin. And even though she irritated me and whatever, but you know, she was still there, you know,
for each other.
Yeah.
It's such a hard time, you know, like learning and trying to figure out this family dynamic. So that's so cool. Yeah. And then the other character, not really out of the friend group, but the mom.
The mom.
I love your mom personally too, like, and so seeing what she had to go through, like really sitting with that is like, it's hard, you know? And I think that Vanjie portrayed her in such a wonderful way.
She did.
Initially, there were talks about like, how do we go about emotion and whatnot and dealing with, and you made a really good point when we were there for like the staging, like your mom is very calm. She's not angered. She's very, I don't know do you have a good term for how to, I don't want to say like not emotive, because she has emotions. It's just maybe like not as like expressive.
Yeah, she's not expressive.
Yeah. And so the way that Vanjie portrayed her was very impactful for me too. Yeah. Not gonna lie, when I first heard that song, I was like, it's beautiful, but I don't know like how I feel about it. It started to become one of my favorites.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, towards the end of the play. I think the way that Vanjie like put her heart into it and seeing it placed that way towards the daughter, like speaking to the daughter. That was the other thing that came up.
Oh, yes. That was your idea.
Yeah. So with music, I have kind of like I think about, yes, this is the song, but then I think of it, how does it play out in the scene? The song is initially written towards just conversing between the mom and the daughter.
Actually, do you remember?
Yes,
it was the deacon singing it to Alina. And then everybody was like, Mrs. Gillian, and I think it was, Mrs. Gillian said, no, the strong bond should be with the mom. And I was like...
And there's no more deacon, by the way.
There's no deacon in it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, like how did I miss that? Like, my mom was the one that was there. She was the one that brought me back to, to Jesus and stuff. And I gave so much credit to the deacon. Well, he does deserve some credit.
100%.
Because he helped me through a lot. But like, it was my mom who helped me every step of the way. So we changed it from deacon to mom. And that was amazing.
I think that's initially why I was like, I can't envision a man singing this. And then I was like, I don't know if I like this melody, but it transformed over time. Like, I think that was like an underrated song for me. It's that like skyrocketed at the end of it. So it went from that, the deacon, to the mom singing to Alina. And then I was like, you know what? If this is really about your mom reminding you that it's the Lord that has helped her and propelled her through these hard times, let's change it. So, what are some of the lyrics? Like, I know, like, I can't remember. It's in the chorus where we changed. He's always with you.
He is always with you,
Instead of, I am always with you. There's like, you are in the hands of the one who helped you off the ground. He's that friend. Instead of, I'm that friend. So like, mom is there, but most of all, the Lord is there. And so I had this like moment. I was like, I need to tell Nelanie. This is like maybe a week before.
Yeah, before the start of it, right? The actual show.
And so I think I did a voice memo to Nell, and I was like, I have this revelation. I don't know if it can be changed right now. And then I think he told Vanjie, and she was like, oh yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
so,
it was. Oh, that was incredible.
Yeah,
and it made me tear so much because like I just felt that, even though my mom hadn't told me when I was younger that, Jesus is there for you, but like the love she portrayed, like really showed me that, hey, I'm here, but who else is here is Jesus.
Exactly. So, in action.
My mom's more of an action person. She's not very much for words. So, and then just the thought of it, like my cousin, when she saw Vanjie singing to Alina, my cousin's like to my mom, hey, auntie, I didn't know you sing. My mom does not sing. She doesn't even know how to clap. So it was a stretch, but but the words that, and the actions that she portrayed totally represents who my mom is.
Yeah. I love that. It's so good. Yeah. After that, it's that moment of like, right, going to Jesus, and like, it goes into when she's in front of the monstrance, right? And then your song comes on after when she encounters Christ, like Jesus coming up, which I love that moment too.
Yes, Jesus.
Yes,
Mr.
the
J.
shadows and everything, and the luxurious wig.
Which he did not like.
Well, okay. We had to do some tinkering with that wig.
We tried.
Yeah. A little strange, but it worked out.
Yeah. But that moment when she's with Jesus, I remember that moment being in adoration and just feeling his loving arms around me, So, yeah.
Yeah. I think that was portrayed very well too. We were tinkering with staging as well. Like, how would Jesus like approach? And initially it was like standing And then we were like, well, he would come to you closely, you know? And the cast was laughing at like, oh yeah, we're gonna hug after. And like, you know, young kids being like, oh, this is awkward. But no, there's a tenderness and like a true love with that too. And so I think it was portrayed really beautifully. And then the song. So you want to share a little bit more about that song?
Yeah, I feel you. Like that was my second song. Well, my first song I wrote for God, you know.
Mm-hmm.
My first song was about peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, but
love it.
But that song, you know, I just went into adoration and just like poured my heart. I was in there by myself, and I actually sang out loud this prayer to him, and then, you know, I just felt the warmth and like, you know, just like I should be here every day praying to you. You are here. You are with me. I feel you.
Yeah.
And then I went home and picked up my guitar and I was like, this is it. This is it. And like, actually, I even, when I lived in Kailua with In Him Ministries, we went to dinner in Chinatown and they knew I wrote this song. They made me play it in the restaurant.
I love it.
And I was like, I am not a good piano. Like, I don't even know what I'm doing. I barely know
piano.
I was doing piano, and I was like, why did you guys make me do this? But you know,
gosh, we gotta do that again soon.
I was like, it was a grand piano, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, but okay,
it's for the Lord.
Yeah. So, and like, there was a little bit of people in that restaurant, but you know, they gave me applause, and I was like, okay, I don't even remember like being able to get up there and do it, and like, but you know, that's the song of my heart. Like, you know, it's my favorite song because truly I felt Jesus at that moment. So
I really like the progression from that song because I feel like when I first listened to it, it's beautiful, you know, like it's very raw acoustic and everything. One thing that I did miss was your bridge.
Oh, yeah.
But I know it would have been really hard to like put in musically, if that makes sense. But
yeah, I don't know. Somebody just said it doesn't match the flow of the scene, I guess.
I see. Like it just needed to be the verse.
The verse, yeah. So like, you know, I'm hoping one day that I'll be able to record it on my own and have the bridge in there too.
Maybe an acoustic album. Like we can put out some of our young adult music out there. I know a lot of other people like in and out of the play have a lot to share. But no, I love being able to hear it's even a different tempo. Almost, more solemn. Like I think when you sing it was hard.
Yeah, it was like a bop.
Yeah. And then Ziggy took it to another level where it's like, you know, like tender and soft. You know what? I forgot one song.
What song?
We have to go back to your dark moment. So this one was hard.
This one was really hard. That one made me, like, just writing it made me want to cry every moment. Yeah. That acapella. And you know, it's so funny because people are like, did something happen to the music?
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I was like, you know, maybe in the future we'll have music to it, but
I don't think it needs it.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I remember you sending me the first rough draft of it, and you asked me for my opinion. Do you remember what I said?
I don't remember.
It's because I didn't respond. I had a very hard time. Like, listening to it, I was like, this is so raw and so personal to you that even to give any sort of critique would be wrong, you know? And there was no critique needed. It's genuinely what you feel. And
we're just thinking about it.
We get tissues.
Man, that song was rough, man. Yeah.
But it was perfect for what you were going through. Like the words, like I could relate, you know, like the feeling of not being enough, like not understanding your place. And then Ziggy, we worked with her quite a bit. And I remember it was the last night. There was like cracks in her voice.
Yeah, like yeah.
And she gave it, you know.
Yeah.
She really did it like justice.
Oh, what a song. That was really, really hard to write. Like, I feel like in the draft recording of it, the first recording of it, like you could feel like the emotions that I felt. Like, I think I just sang it through and then wrote it down. I was just like sitting at on my bed, I think, and just singing, and just whatever came up to me. And it's a reprise of the why, and so why does it rain only on me? Like, you know, like you feel the hurt and that I felt in that song. So, but,
yeah. Do you have a favorite line?
I can't remember. Do you have a favorite line?
If you hear me now.
Oh yeah.
Even if you do. Wait.
I'm in pain. I really need you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That, I think.
The daughter part too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was rough.
Just like all this.
Why do we always cry? Oh God.
It's so connected, you know? I think that's why. And yeah, it's from the heart. And so I really love that one too. If that one's an underrated one, I would say it would be underrated.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know. It was very good. Anyway, to propel forward.
I want to go back to some of the characters. Okay. So Sarah Santos, where the kids kept saying Sarah Santos because our priest is Father Santos. Yeah. There was actually a person in my life that, you know, was running against me for president, and, you know, no hard feelings with her, you know, but, you know, it was a big moment for me, you know, to have that, you know, that voting time that made it so hard. Like, I really thought I was going to win. But then, you know, lost by a couple of votes and stuff. That's what they told me. I don't know how accurate that is, but yeah.
You took it hard.
Yeah, it was hard because, like, I actually sang my speech.
Okay, what was your actual speech?
So, you know, Evita, the movie?
Yes.
With Madonna. It says, "Don't cry for me, Argentina." I said, "Vote for me, 7th grade president." And that was the end of my speech. And then, yeah.
But, okay. What made you choose Christina Aguilera? 90s?
Well, because I thought of 2000 Genie in a Bottle, you know?
Oh, AG.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. Well, in my campaigning, mine was NT. New Times, New Things, Melanie Tabata.
Got it.
I had
all great. Elena Garcia for president.
Yeah, so.
Got it.
And I really did use Christina Aguilera. I was so sad because I actually had my flyers that I posted.
Oh my gosh.
But then, like, maybe like 6 months before I decided to put that in the play, I threw them away. And I was like, dang it! It could have
been on the wall.
It could have been on the wall. Yeah, it would have been really fun. But I can't believe I threw it away. And that was so many years ago. Like, yeah. And it could have been something. Oh, man.
Wow.
And then going to the two sassy girls.
Yes.
Shelly and, what's her name? Shelly and, oh my gosh, what's her name? Shelly.
I forget. I just wet seal in Blockbuster.
Jenny and Shelly were the ones that were the mean girls. And there were like people that you were combined of who these people were. And Jenny and Shelly, I don't know, just sounded like cool names. Mean girl names, you know. And so, you know, I named them Jenny and Shelly. But like Shelly, like her line, my favorite, you know. Blockbuster. That one.
Library.
I went to a library once. Oh wait, no, that was Blockbuster. Like, that was one of my favorite lines to write because I couldn't stop laughing at myself.
No, it was funny though. Like, if you you actually understand. I don't know, some people might not know
Yeah,
Blockbuster
yeah.
these days, but
Yeah.
that was good.
Yeah, that was one of my favorites. But like at the end, when they're all like doing the food, picking up food and whatever.
Yeah.
That was my hope in middle school, that whoever I hung out with, we would work together. At the end. So there were times where I've done good things with people that wasn't so nice to me and stuff, but we worked through it.
That's good.
But yeah, Jenny and Shelly, yeah, they're great.
It's very cute, very Mean Girls-esque. I love the costuming.
Yeah, they picked their outfits, man. It was so funny. I was like, yeah, girl, you get it. You got it at Wet Seal, I know.
Miss Wet Seal.
At Pearls.
At Pearls. Oh man.
Yeah. But yeah, and then just the ending of it all, like it was great to have everybody on stage and have them all come together and be one, coming together as all of us trying to believe in who we want to believe in, and Jesus Christ. And so it was great to have the support of the cast and our parishioners and the crew, and there's so many people that were put it together and made it so great.
There was one thing we forgot. So leading up to the retreat, I guess it's during the retreat, we needed to have a little musical number.
Yeah.
So if you came to our initial
the
nights,
first one, just the first one.
Just the first one.
I think so, right? Or
I think it
was
the first two, because we had like the week to create something. We had Yes Lord. Everyone's known. I'm not gonna say favorite because it's not my favorite worship song, but one that many people know how to sing and Yes Lord. Yeah. But realized
that we couldn't have that in the song because we could be copyrighted. And so I'm like, let's make up a new song.
So Melanie called us within a short session. We brainstormed again, had a bunch of people. I don't even know how many of us come in.
Me, you, Sherry, Aaron, and Nicole. Oh, you are Nicole. Me, you, Sherry, and Aaron. Yeah.
We had like the typical exercise of like, okay, what are a couple things? Because we had ideas about like a door kind of being the theme of it, and then it turned into one of the prayers that was mentioned. I believe, I hope, I adore, I love you. Which comes from Our Lady of Fatima. And then that was kind of like our basis, our basic words for the song, right? Yeah. After that, we threw something together, and it was incredible. I loved it. That's how we work. Yeah. That's why Adore 2 is coming out next year. I'm just kidding. Oh my gosh. As much as I loved it, it was a time. It was a lot of work for you. I don't know how you did that, but it was a lot. But it was great. Yeah. So much fun. We talked a lot about Act 2. And we'll be talking more about stuff and maybe auditions and behind the scenes and stuff. Would you release some vids? Maybe like a cast reacting to their auditions. Oh, that would be great. Yeah. Yes. Or that sounds good. We can pull up some of our initial recordings and listening to it. They also, the person who like produced the music created like a reggae track for yours with your voice. It's so wow. It's weird. But like, it was like all the musical things behind the scenes are super cool. Thank you for having me and sharing that piece, because like I love listening to Marissa, who has the actor experience behind it. I'm like, I wasn't near that. You know,
Yeah.
I was doing lighting, pressing buttons,
Yeah.
and
Writing songs.
writing songs. Like, I was a little bit more behind the scenes than I typically do, which I actually really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, it was great to have you on here.
Thanks.
And we'll have Miss Auntie Eva back on again. She's no
resident.
She's the resident interviewer. I interviewed you. You interviewed me. It's tag team.
Talk story.
She just needed a spring break. But, you know.
Can't wait for her to come back.
Yes. And we'll do audition reactions. We'll do that.
Or some cast. I think that'd be phenomenal.
Yeah. So thank you for watching and getting to know more of Adore in Act 2. And thank you for Nicole for being on here, for producing some music, composing some music, and being some good sounding ground for some of the theatrical things that happen throughout the play. And so with that, go light up the world with his love. Bye! Yay! If you haven't watched Adore the Eucharistic Revival musical production, then head over to YouTube and search Adore Production to experience a young girl's story of faith, hope, and love for the Lord. One more thing, click like, hit the subscribe button, and comment what's your favorite song in Adore. Peace and blessings. Bye!